and welcome back to my homestead. Again, we're in the kitchen today because I'm going to be making my annual hot sauce. Yes, I make it every year right around this time, and I ferment it for a few weeks, well, a couple of weeks, and then I store away for my husband to eat. I don't eat hot sauce, it's way too spicy for me, but he loves it. He loves his hot sauce. So these are my homegrown hot peppers. I forgot the name of them. I always forget the name of these guys, but they're long green hot peppers. And I'm going to be chopping them up, mixing with a few very simple ingredients and making my hot sauce. Now you may say, now why can't you just go and buy hot sauce? It's not a big deal. There's so many different styles of hot sauce, and you're right. Unfortunately, many of them, even the organic ones, have ingredients in them that I just simply don't know what they are, and I don't want to serve it to my family. For example, they may say other spices. Please tell me what those spices are. I would love to know. Very often they have MSG and other ingredients I do not want to put on my table. On top of that, this is going to be a fermented hot sauce. And fermentation is another method of cooking, but without actually destroying the essential nutrients that are locked in the vegetable. See, fermentation is going to actually draw them out and making more available. Okay, and provide a good lacto-fermented probiotic that we need for a health gut so much. So, what will I use in my recipe? Again, guys, Again, guys, you can use any hot pepper you want. It's just, this is what I have. If I had some red ones, I would have used red or yellows, but I only have green. So it's going to be a green sauce this year. So I have these long green hot peppers, and I already washed them and I started chopping them. And I also chopped, and then I realized maybe I should have showed it to you. I have these poblano peppers that I also washed and I chopped. You may choose to leave seeds in, or you may choose to remove them, including the veins, because those are very spicy parts of the hot pepper. But I decided to leave them in. And I'm wearing gloves. Gloves, guys, trust me, and avoid touching your face, avoid touching your eye. Okay, so I have about half a pound of hot pepper. I have a whole head of garlic. I'm going to be using fresh garlic. I'm going to be using my pink Himalayan salt. And you guys know how much I love my pink Himalayan salt because it has so many good minerals that we need, essential minerals for our bodies. If you want to use Celtic sea salt, that's fine. But I just try to avoid the regular table salt because it only contains sodium chloride. And very often they add iodine, which is not very good for fermentation. It's going to add that milky kind of look. I don't like very much. Also, I'm going to be using sugar, very little sugar, just to help the fermentation process to get going and for those little bacteria to eat something. I'm going to be using my clean water. We have well water, but if you live in town that has chlorinated water, please use filtered water where there is no chlorine, because chlorinated water and other ingredients that they use in tap water, there's a whole bunch more than just chlorine, very often interferes with fermentation process. So either use filtered water, bottled water, but yes, clean water. Okay, so yes, we're gonna need a jar. I'm gonna be fermenting in a jar today, and some sort of a cap. Now, if you guys wanna invest in the fermenting kits, there's so many of them. They sell them on Amazon and other websites. Hey, those are great, but I'm gonna go old school, nothing big to it. I'm just gonna burp it every other day or every day, and that's it. So I'm not gonna use any kind of big, expensive fermenting kits. So let me show you what I'm gonna do. Simple. I'm gonna have myself some hot fermented sauce. So I'm going to be making everything in my large glass jar. Fermentation is always best to be done in a glass container. Do not use any kind of plastic container. that's not a good idea. Again, you may choose to remove seeds. I'm gonna keep them whole. It's not a big deal. I'm not gonna remove the seeds. I'm just chopping them in a manageable size and I'm dropping them in my jar. Quick. Again, you can chop them in any shape or form you want to. If you have seen my other fermentation videos, you know that I like to use 1 quart of water to 2 tablespoons of salt. 1 liter or 1 quart of water and 2 tablespoons of salt. So I took slightly warm water because it will be easier to dissolve, and I'm just pouring my salt in there. Now, remember how I mentioned to you that this is gonna need a little bit more help because it doesn't have cabbage or anything like that. It's gonna need a little bit more help for fermentation. So I'm gonna add just a touch of sugar, about half a tablespoon or so, just enough to help the process along. Let's see if this quart is enough. It is best that all of the vegetables are submerged under the brine. So I'm going to be adding more brine in here. So I have another quart of water here, and I put 2 tablespoons of Himalayan salt, and I'm going to add just about half a tablespoons of sugar, and I'm going to dissolve everything. Yeah, I think that's good. Now I'm just gonna cover everything with a cover. I'm gonna cover this with a towel and I'm gonna let it sit on my counter for a couple of weeks. If you don't wanna keep it in your kitchen counter, that's fine. You can put it somewhere away, but don't forget that you need to burp it every day. See, you're gonna start seeing fermentation process happening in this jar. This is beautiful. You're gonna start seeing fermentation process happening in this jar, and you wanna be able to release that gas, because if you don't, it's going to explode or crack or do damage to your jar, and you don't wanna lose your good product. So I'm gonna be burping this every day, and I'm gonna keep it in my counter for about a week and a half, maybe even 2 weeks, and then... All right, so the fermentation has stopped. It's been 2 weeks, and it went from that bright green color to nice and kind of like murky, almost pale green. Oh, it smells so heavenly, smells so good. All right, so there's no more bubbles. Fermentation has stopped. Now I'm going to put it in the the blender, and I'm going to blend everything. All right, that is the last of it. No splashing hot sauce. Oh my gosh, just enough space. All right. All right, so here is the green. It's a little, look at it, it's beautiful. Oh, it smells so good. Now, I am not gonna taste it because it's way too spicy for me. And so therefore I'm not gonna demonstrate it on this video, but here's the hot sauce. It's gonna be all green sauce. I will store it in the fridge, and chances are it will be gone by Christmas time because my husband loves hot sauce and he uses it in everything. All right, friends, so this is how I make my homemade green sauce. I hope you guys are encouraged to utilize your green peppers and try something new.